Okay, this is saying, your planet was never a disappointment. The humans tend to have a destruction mode, sort of almost in your DNA to some degree. We knew this would happen. We have been watching from afar. We are one of many planets that have been observing your own. We knew this would come about to some degree. This is not a natural phenomenon. But this is also not to be feared. This is just a reset to some degree. The worst criminal in this is the fact that you're all being made to fear something. When your bodies have naturally the natural immunity that it needs. If you were just left to your natural immunity, it would actually work, it would kick in. But for many years, we are mindful of our words as we do not want to create discomfort. But for many years, you have been instructed and told that you need to rely upon others to fix you. You have every ability within your body to fix itself. But if you have created this fear within your body, you are also have an internal battle, which makes it much more difficult for your body to heal itself. If you do as we say, and we are only thinking of your well-being, we have come here to help you. It's as if your ship, your planet, has sent out an SOS. We saw this happening from some time ago. We knew this. You are think and feel different in the sense of time travel. We saw this happening many years ago. Many years ago. And that's why we stepped forward and was in place to help you now. This was an SOS going back in time. Not necessarily as such. But we knew this was going to happen. And so we sent forth all those that could help you on your planet. Those individuals who are the light workers, the channelers, the people who are stepping forth, who are helping individuals. And yes, their voices are being squashed by many. You have not been sent this as a punishment. It was naturally going to happen this way. We saw this process happening. But your bodies can help. If you take away your fear and start looking at how you can help your body, we are amazed through processing of your foods and the chemicals on your planet. You have been destroying your planet for many decades. You made the massive shift on your planet through monetary values. It changed, it shifted. Now, we are not here as a collective, as you might feel that we are part of the conspiracy theorist. We are just telling you as we see it as it is. Some humans have stepped forward and have gained from the fear that it creates on your planet. You can try it, each and every one of you, for yourself. Try changing your diets. Try looking at your thought processes. Start feeling it into your bodies, working with your intuition. When you work with your intuition, and this is what we say, stepping forward, when you work with your intuition, you'll become aware of what you can have in your body, what you can have around you. It will be those individuals, the thought processes. You'll become more aware, as most of you will become more telepathic. Will use your psychic energy fields around you, or be aware of those around you who are like-minded. This is important that you start working with your intuition. You have not been punished. There is no punishment here from us. We have been sent forth to guide you, to light up your planet. And as we move forward, there will be many more that will speak the truth and will help you to move more forward. If you reset yourself in a sense of, through the meditation, how you calm your mind as you be in the present moment. You'll become more aware of how you can control and manage the fear that you may feel within your body. We are helping you to take back your power. There will be many of us that will step forward to help you to align with yourself. Of course, there is the human part of you, and we do understand this. But we are here to help you and to help you to step forward too. So no, this is no punishment for how or what the humans have done upon the planet. This is a reset. Your planet will be upset. You will hear it more with the flooding and the earthquakes, but this will also bring the humans together. When you've had natural disasters before, the humans have then created the chain and helped each other. When you've had wars on your planet, there is brought forward the strength in individuals. This is not a disaster. We wish for the thought process to be switched over. This is more of bringing together humanity and the community. But we step forward to assist you this time. We've been here before, many times before. We're just to help you out. Right, so what they're saying is, my guide here is saying very clearly, and this is also, I was having this conversation with someone today also as the psychic medium. So if I sit with a client and I'm looking at things for them, they're asking me maybe what's going to come in the future. I hate that fortune telling, that side of it, to be honest, because things are very different. So that individual might sit in front of me and I'm giving them information, but I know that where they are right now in their energy field of how they're feeling is the answer at this moment. If they make those changes, if I say to somebody, you need to go to do that because it's what they're showing me, that you'll meet that person if you move to that location, this person's there. And if they don't move to that location, they don't find that person, they come back to me and say, well, I didn't meet that person. You said in March or February, whatever it was. Yeah, but you didn't move. So it's very dependent about what is going on for you as an individual. So it's about your energy stream. So yes, you can use the pendulum and you can get the yes and the no answers from your pendulum. Great way of doing it. But you also have to be aware of your energy field too. So your energy field, an extension of yourself, picking up on what's going on around you. So if you want the yes or no, you'll get the yes or no. But if something changes inside of you, as in you're thinking or feeling a little bit different about something, or you've received other information, that pendulum that gave you the yes or no a day ago or a couple of hours ago, if something's changed, again, it's like you need to keep going back to it. So, and okay, thank you also. They just turned and said to me, also, your pendulum, okay, thank you. They just said, your pendulum might say, no, it's not going to happen, and so that you decide to go out and you go do what you're going to do. Oh God, this gets a bit technical now. But your pendulum, oh my God, how does that work, honestly? So for me, I feel my pendulum as a personality, okay? My pendulum works for me. If my daughter uses it, it doesn't work for her at all, okay? It plays up. And sometimes my pendulum will stay still. It won't move at all. And I get frustrated, like, well, God's sake, come on, move. And it won't. Because I needed to go and do something. I was putting something off. But I needed to experience that experience. And it doesn't want to tell me, which sounds bizarre, I know. So I stop doing, if I totally lived by my pendulum alone, I wouldn't do things. Well, does that make sense? Let's have a little look. No, they're going back. They're saying your pendulum has a personality. Your pendulum tunes into your energy. So where you think it should be a no from your pendulum, and then you go do something, and it's like you do bump into that person, or that something does happen. You were meant to destiny. Your destiny was meant to drive you to that individual place. So your pendulum's not wrong. It just means that you were meant to do that. You are meant to go to that place, whether you wanted to or not, because they can see far ahead of you. So it's again with the fortune telling. It's like, oh God, I hate using that, sorry. With the fortune telling, it's like, if I say to a client, this is going to happen, if you don't follow it to the T, it's not going to happen. And sometimes you don't need someone to tell you exactly when something's going to happen, as you put it off, or you redirect yourself. So when they say about working with your intuition, it's got to be working more of your intuition. You've got to start trusting in that. Yes, you can use these tools and they can help you to some degree, but the most important thing moving forward is your intuition. Now, what I keep being told today is at some point the internet is going to go down. I don't want to share this. The internet will go down. So and all the electrical and technical stuff, there's going to be moments where it messes about. So if you're reliant upon the pendulum, reliant on your cards, or reliant on technology, what are you going to do if for some reason it's not there? So if you bring it back to your animal instinct, your intuition, your gut feeling, if you tune more into yourself, you're going to know the answers. The pendulums will help to some degree, but also, I mean, they do have a personality of their own. They know what's going to come as well. They know that, you know, that really you need to go out and bump into that person. But you've asked your pendulum and it's like your pendulum said, yes, you've got to go out, but you don't want to bump into that person. But actually by you bumping into that person, it's changed everything around. So your pendulum knows already. And that sounds a bit weird, I know. But in your energy field, you were meant to bump into that person. But if your pendulum said, no, don't go out and you listen to your pendulum, it's like that event wouldn't have happened. Trust your gut feeling. Your pendulums pick up on your energy field around you. That's how it works. Energy field of what you are feeling and thinking, and also what's going on in your environment and what's going on out there in your energy fields, in the atmosphere. So that's what you need to do. Trust in your gut. And that's what they say. If you went to battle and you didn't have a pendulum on you, how the hell are you going to know? So here is, we're going into battle, basically. We're going into battle right now. So the idea is that you've got to start tuning into your own energy field. You've got to listen in to your gut feeling. From childhood, we was told, don't be silly, this doesn't really exist. You know, as a kid, we might have been told first of all, was little, there was Santa Claus and there was fairies, and then, you know, the tooth fairy and everything else. Then you get to a certain age, it's like, it's not true. And then so you start doubting, what? That's not true? How, you know? So you start doubting everything. So it's like now they're trying to give you the tools to help you individually. So my guides are saying you need to start working with your intuition, your gut feelings, tuning into you, knowing that what you're saying is right for you. Because if these tools were taken away from you, your phone's not working, your laptop's not working, or your pendulum obviously not working, or whatever it is, you've got to be able to tune into it. And the more you do that, then you'll start tuning into other people. You create a frequency around yourself. You start vibrating in a different way, like the metronome I was sort of saying. Then you're going to start attracting those individuals in around you, like-minded people, your tribe. And then you will resonate with them more. So don't totally trust the pendulum to some degree, because it might be tuning into your own energy, what you want it to be. So trust your tools to some degree. Trust in your intuition more. Start learning how to do that through meditation. You receive the information, check in with them, check in who's here to help you, your guides, your team, check in who's there who wants to assist you. And normally your guides, you know, sometimes they make it more familiar. So for years ago, it was my nan and granddad, because I knew them when they was alive, I trusted them. So your guides may come through when you start doing this as somebody you trust, a nan, a granddad, whoever it is, a mother, a father will come through as a guide first, because they know that you're going to trust in them. And as you develop more and more, you'll have other guides that will join you. So it's about, you now have to be self-sufficient. You have to learn to be more self-sufficient, each and every one of you. Because if something's taken away from you, it's like, how are you going to manage? So as we move forward into this year, there may be those, oh gosh, this is what they're saying, electrical blackouts, phones going a bit crazy, internet going a bit crazy, where you might not be able to connect to that person by phone, but if you're thinking of that person, you can almost like have that conversation with them, even though they're not physically here. So they're saying, bring in your intuition, start working with that more. But no, this virus was not brought on this planet as a punishment. I know that was the last question that you asked. But also, yes, you can use your tools, but it's not written in stone, as in they know actually what you need to do. So if they say no and the next minute something else happens, it's because it was meant to happen for your goodness, for your higher purpose, if that makes sense. Okay, so don't give up using your pendulum or using your tarot cards. Don't do that. But they're just sort of saying there is other techniques as well, and there is a bigger plan for you to have done whatever you need to do. With your pendulum said the opposite. Okay. The question about segregation, do I think it will change the segregation on the planet that we have? Those are for mask, anti-mask, or vaccine, or anti-vaccine, or is there really such thing as COVID, or not? Whatever it is. Okay, thank you. They just said whatever it is. They said, do we think it's going to continue on the planet to some degree, or will there always be this? Yes, sadly, there will always be this. This is how the human race is. The human race will always have those doubts, but you want that to happen on your planet to some degree. You must have those individuals that think free-minded. At the moment, they're not free-minded. That's why you end up with some communities and groups of people that are thinking the same thing. As in, they think there is something terrible happening on your planet, and there is some others that say, no, there isn't this terrible, but we just need to rely upon our immunity and everything else. You're going to have that on your planet because that's how the human was constructed. This is how you've been created. There was a reason for this. We do not want you to be robots and every one of you thinking the same thing. That was not what you were created for. You were created so that individually you could think and speak for yourselves. But many of you get through fear, you become clustered. This is like a magnetic. This is you magnetize between yourselves and you connect because you feel that you're safe. This is natural. This is animals. If you see this in animals, if we think of chimpanzees, a gathering of chimpanzees, if there was something that happened, then you all gather together, of course, because you're all the same thinking to some degree. This is a natural tendency to happen. The difference is globally, you have this network. You have this network of how there's this communication across your planet, how you can communicate with each other. You use your internet. We see this. There will be a moment where it will go down because it needs to have a circuit break. There needs a circuit break. There needs to be we can see there is a blanket of information that is being sent out to the planet to some degree, and we know that it needs to be changed. So there will be a circuit break at some point. The more information to create balance, which there is no balance to some degree at this moment. There is great change occurring and will occur. There will be information that will be there will be information that will be leaked out onto your planet about the vaccines and what is happening internally within the individuals and what also will be in the vaccines as well. This is not to scare individuals. Each and every one of you are okay. We are just saying the information that you thought it will be overturned. There will be other information that will be, you would say, leaked out to some degree. But this will bring you all together. This is not disastrous. It's just individuals may feel more isolated at times on your planet because of what is occurring. You will all come together. We have seen this in your repeating of your history before. We have seen the great wars and the stories that were told. It needs those voices to be heard at this time. So yes, we will see the great change. We have more happening next year. This is not to fear. The voices will begin to be heard more. This is about you individually, as individual people, to watch your own energy. One person can vibrate an energy field around them of fear. And what happens is then the other person does too. So if you watch your own position of where you are at, to be present in the moment, it will help your energy to stabilize itself. The humans go off in fear of anxiety, fearing what could happen in the future, and also the information they live from the past. We are saying, do not time travel backwards and forwards like this. Be present in the moment and be aware of your own energy of how you are feeling. You must be aware of your own happiness and your own calm and peace. And then it will then transmit across the world. Animals are sensing this too at this moment. Generally, for others, I would say that you know those individuals around you, and again, I will keep going back to it. Trust in your intuition with this. Always connect with those individuals that have passed over and see what you feel that they would have wanted, their wishes. Check in intuitively, check with your heart. You can have a conversation with them. Just because their physical vessel's no longer there, and you know this personally, the person I'm talking to, but other people who may not know this, but just because the physical self is not there, that we cannot see it, does not mean that they are not aware of what's going on energetically around you. They do not disconnect when their physical body leaves. They're still there around you and communicating with you and helping to guide you. Okay, I just also, someone sort of said to me, you can test the theory. So you could sort of, whatever it is, if you have to make a decision, or if it's to do with a plot or something that needs to be added, okay, they're sort of showing me if something needs to be added. I don't know if it's in this particular case, if there's sort of stone or something. Some people have come to me and sort of said about a gravestone or something with ashes. This is what I've had from other people before. But when you tune into the individual and not use the head, and to sat quietly and peacefully and ask your loved ones to step forward, to sort of say, what is it that you would want? And just see what comes in. Now, if, for instance, I've had this actually with a person that they were trying to get a headstone for the grave, and they just couldn't get it in that colour, couldn't get it done by a certain time, couldn't get the words inscribed on it. I've got a black onyx looking one or marble one. And then they just kept on trying. And then I said to him, well, maybe it's not meant to be. Maybe it's meant to be the other colour. Maybe it's meant to be, that photograph or whatever it is that's embedded in it. Maybe it's meant to be that way around. And maybe from the other side, the person is just helping to sort of say, no, I don't want that. I wanted this. So go with what is in the flow, what happens gently, what happens, and tune into that individual and to see what happens. Because from the other side, energetically, they're making it work. I had a lady the other day, and I gave a reading to her, and I said to her, your mother's trying to come through. Now, there's a seat that you have in your room. She's showing me that was the chair she used to sit in by the window, and there's a lampshade, a standard lampshade. And I said, do you find the light bulb in that lampshade keeps going out? And she said, yeah, I do. It's a real nuisance. And I went, yeah, because she's trying to get your attention and you're just not listening. You keep saying, oh, you're there. She keeps flicking the light bulb keeps going out, and you still keep putting a new bulb in and thinking, is she there? I said, energetically, she's working on the frequency of this light bulb, trying to get it to work, trying to show you she's there. God, it takes a lot of energy, and you're still ignoring her. And she couldn't stop laughing. And then she sort of listened, and she's like, oh yeah, maybe, whatever. Still wasn't too sure. And then there was something else that's going on in the house. I said, okay, you're finding the extractor fan in your bathroom keeps turning on, and you don't know why. And you keep blaming it on the extractor fan. Well, it's because she's keep turning it on and you're just not listening. So I said, every time you keep asking, she's trying to do something, trying to get your attention, and the human mind comes in and says, oh no, it can't be true. So you've got to sort of you put it out and see what you receive back. So there's always trying to get this balance of conspiracy theory and whatever, and we don't, it's so difficult. But okay, thank you. They just said non-judgment. Do not get into battle with each other, because it makes you as bad as each other, and then people start shutting down. It's like, okay, thank you. They just said, okay, thank you. They used that old story about the sun and that individual. Okay, thank you. About the person who wears that coat, and the sun and the wind turn around and said, I bet I can take that coat off that individual. The sun turns around and says, I'm going to take that coat off that man. He's walking down the street, and the wind says, no, I'm going to be able to do it. You watch me. And then with force, keeps blowing the wind, blow, and all this force in trying to take this man's coat off. But the man's like tucking it in more and more, because it's like, no, this is not coming off me. Whereas the sun gently, calmly heats the person up, gently, and this person gently takes off the coat. This is going to be a time of patience, and it's about not segregating ourselves. So, you know, I found, you know, with my family, I was quite shocked that I was almost not allowed to go and visit my mum because I haven't had my booster. And I was like, oh my God. But I had to be calm around her. I had to talk to her gently because it's through her fear of what she's feeling. Doesn't mean I'm right or wrong. Doesn't mean she's right or wrong. But the idea at the moment is that we have to hold the space for each other. Okay, so it's about not getting caught up in he said, she said. It's about having equal amounts of information that's going out. It's about also being aware of the brainwashing. We do not want to brainwash people. If we look at other people, they're trying to brainwash people. It's about, you've got to try and get a balance. So again, it's about coming back to you, what feels right for you as an individual. Otherwise you find yourself getting into this argument of if you believe in it, if you don't believe in it, if you think that's the right way, if you don't think that's the right way. It's got to be about you working with how you're feeling at this particular time. It's not about what that person does down the road, or your friend, or a neighbour, or a family member, or a best friend. It has to be about you. And it's again about bringing it back to your own intuition. So start training yourself in the sense of, if it's from food, should I drink water? Should I have that food? See how your body responds to it. You know, for me, it's such a silly little thing. You know, I went to my mum's and she made me a sandwich. It was white bread. And I knew it was going to upset my stomach. And I was like, well, I can't really eat it, Mum. But I didn't want to upset her, so I ate it. And my stomach was like griping in pain. So it's about sticking to what you feel is right for you. Whatever that is, whether it's you believe in, you don't believe in it, you have vaccine, you don't have a vaccine, you've got to keep coming back to yourself. And not about pleasing other people, and then that will balance out you, and that's the most important thing. Like they keep saying, we're like, okay, they're just giving me like beacons or lighthouses. So whatever's going on for us, we're sending that information out to others. So it's about you having that light, you being aware of how you're feeling right now, you being aware of other people that feel similar to you, and then you are in that environment that you're not fighting with individuals, because fighting and arguing with individuals is going to reduce your immune system anyway. And it will make you feel run down. So it's about finding your balance, about being around other people that feel very similar to yourself, if that makes sense.